Hi guys, welcome back, and basically I've decided to make my own language tag. Sometimes it's weird to be in different YouTube communities because obviously BookTube is huge and you see new tags popping out almost every week, and there's so many cool tags. I literally have like separated list just for BookTube tags because I really like making them, and sometimes they have really interesting questions, but I don't wanna, make it the only content on my channel, so I kinda often leaving it for later. Sometimes to the point when tech is not popular anymore, but it's fine. But obviously, language community is smaller, and from the top of my head, I could remember like 2-3 language tags. And let's change it. And this is language amateur tag, and I'm not sure am I pronouncing it correctly in English. A great start. Well, let's get into the question. Number 1. Do you own a textbook you've never used to study? Well, interesting question. Yeah, I think I do. This is my recent purchase. I found it in a second-hand bookstore. So course for French language. This is third book from a study series. So this one, it's actually, I think it's specified this for more advanced learners, but I've decided to pick this one because it has a lot of reading material. So for example, here is the text and some exercises, and I feel like I really don't get enough of that in textbooks I've used before. So even probably for now it's not for my level yet. I think it could be probably really helpful. It was pretty cheap, so also I think I have one textbook I've used maybe maximum couple of times. So it's also kinda not used, but at least I've tried, so we are fine here. I think I'm surprisingly good at not buying too much textbooks because they're often expensive. If you look in the second-hand bookstore, sometimes it's like weird stuff and it's hard to find something really cool. So often I'm pretty good to stopping myself in terms of language learning books. So let's move on. Question number 2. Do you have more than 5 languages on your bucket list? I'm pretty sure that yes, but let me check. I guess 8? Yeah, 8 languages. And it's like before 30, but I mean, I'm not aiming for C1 for each one of them. So priorities are basically English, C level English, then French probably B2, and German, Polish, Ukrainian B1, then Irish and Czech A2, and Georgian A1. So I guess it's maybe achievable for the course of next 8-7 years, because I feel like maybe my English now is C1, maybe. I definitely need to pay more attention to revising grammar sometimes, because I don't think I've ever done it since the school. And French is not going well, as well as German, and I didn't really started other ones to study them regularly, but Polish and Ukrainian are pretty close to my native language, so I feel it wouldn't be a major problem. So next, question number 3. Do you own multiple notebooks per language? So I have only one notebook for German, but I think I have quite a lot for French. I think 5. So yes. Question number 4. Have you ever eavesdropped on a conversation in another language at least once? I don't really meet speakers of other languages here, or they speak language I don't know. So the only moment I could remember when I was traveling, it was, I think it's like last or year school or somewhere like that, when I've just started learning French. We were in St. Petersburg when we were in the museum. So we kind of our group were kind of separated. It was like free time. Me and my friend was in museum by ourselves, and so we didn't have a guide. So we were just walking, looking and stuff, and suddenly I've heard French. So it was French-speaking group with French-speaking guide. We didn't follow them because we were like going out of the room as they were walking in, and just passed by. But I was like, oh my god, it's this French. It was like during my early days of studying. I was so excited that I understood that it is French. I don't remember, probably didn't get this the meaning or to what they were speaking about, but it was just so cool. Yeah. So question number 5. Did you change your phone settings to another language? I've tried changing my settings in some socials, but I've realized that for the stuff I use a lot, so like some menu settings, I just know what is where, so I don't really read the titles. But on the other hand, for the stuff I don't often use and I like sometimes need, and I don't understand it in another language, it makes me really nervous and quite uncomfortable because I need to achieve something quickly and don't understand, I can't read the interface. So I've decided that language learning option is not really for me, and now basically I have all the settings in my native language everywhere except some mobile games where they don't have, for example, Russian or especially Belarusian in the settings, so I just set them in English. I'm fine with dealing interfaces in English now. Question number 6. Do you get annoyed when Google suggests you to translate the page to a native language? Sometimes it's weird because I'm bilingual, and sometimes when I open pages in Belarusian, Google suggests me to translate them in Russian, and I'm just like, what are you doing? But in terms of English, I think I get used to it. I'm just closing it and don't pay attention to it even. Question number 7. Did you mix up words from different languages you've learned? I remember at least one time I did so. It was still in school. I think it was our last year, so it was really overwhelmed with like preparation for exams and stuff, so my brain was definitely overwhelmed and overpacked with stuff, and I guess I had like English classes and my extra French classes in one day, and maybe I was like preparing for French or something, so it was a little bit mixed up in my head. I think I'm not sure, but I think in French for word for park is at least there is word square or something like that. Maybe it doesn't pronounce like that. But yeah, I think the task was you're getting a place in the city and you need to describe it so a student will understand what you're talking about. And just when I see the word, and I see the word square, and for some reason I thought about the park, and I started describing the park. My teacher was looking with like eyes that big at me, and then I was, oh wait, like that's the wrong language, excuse me, and I've started to explain it correctly. And I think I had a couple of times when I was thinking about the sentence in English, and then it was like one random word when I was for some reason thinking about French equivalent, and I couldn't remember the English one. But I didn't get it that often, maybe because just my levels is still quite different. Question number 8. Have you ever dreamed in a foreign language? I don't think so. I think I mostly dream in Russian. and I have like maybe a couple of times I dreamed in Belarus and don't remember. Definitely never dreamed in French. So question number 9. Do you procrastinate by dabbling in different languages? Hard to tell, because I think my interest in the Georgian started like that. I randomly found a post about Georgian on Tumblr, with some maybe like topics or stuff, and I thought, yeah, wow, this writing system is so beautiful. So for some reason it reminds me of Arabic, but it's definitely different. But still like nice and curly. I would say a weird description of writing system, but anyway, I think it looks really nice. So I've dabbled in it a little bit. I've studied the alphabet and I watched maybe 1 or 2 videos on YouTube with some basic stuff. Don't remember anything from that, but even though I've put Georgian on my bucket list, but it's definitely not a priority for me. I like the idea of languageing, but not as a putting away your main languages, but as trying to learn something different, maybe the language you've never ever thought of picking up. So you can't really rely on your vocabulary knowledge of other languages. It was fun. Number 10. Have you ever been mistaken for a native speaker because of your accent? No, never. And well, I think I have an accent. I don't have a pretty horrible one, but overall my opinion on accents is like, you definitely will have an accent. And even if you're in your native language, if it's spoken in a different areas, like for example, one of my native languages is Russian, and I know that Russian we speak here in Belarus is different from a Russian spoken in Moscow or Russian spoken in St. Petersburg. And Russian from Moscow and St. Petersburg will be a bit different from each other, and it's fine. Like for a language which is really widespread, it's more noticeable, but even for small languages, it could have some local dialects, and it's fine. If people understand what you are speaking, you're fine. So don't care about the accent. You will definitely have one. I mean, in the moments when you can't understand what the person is talking because of their accent, that is the problem. I have one funny situation where I get job kind of project interview. I think the project was American, but they had some developers, like main project managers and stuff from Ukraine. So that a Ukrainian woman was interviewing me, and to the end of the interview I was really wanting to ask her speak Ukrainian and not English, because she has such a strong accent. So I wanted to ask her speak Ukrainian and not English. I wanted it so much because she had such strong accent that sometimes I couldn't understand what she was talking about. I was kind of guessing. I mean, for me it wasn't the problem to answer her in English, but it felt like it would be way easier if she spoke Ukrainian for me and I would answer in English, because at least I wouldn't have an accent problem. Well, that was weird because I don't know about other Belarusian speakers. I understand Ukrainian pretty fine. I watched YouTube in Ukrainian. I don't have problems with that. Yeah, some words are different, but it's like my level of understanding spoken Ukrainian, it's pretty much the same as understanding spoken English. Yeah, sometimes I have the words I don't understand, but I can get them from the context. But in the beginning of the interview, she asked, like, do you speak Ukrainian? No, well, then we will speak in English. Whew. Question number 11. Do you have a bunch of language apps on your phone? Actually, I want to make a separate video about it, like reviewing all my apps. Do I really use them also? But I think I have about 16 installed. Maybe I use like 2 regularly. Question number 12. Did you like your first language learning experience? No. definitely not. So when I was in kindergarten, the parents decided to hire an English teacher for the group. So we had English classes. I think it last year of kindergarten, or maybe last half of year. And because I didn't have a really good health, I was always sick, and it often happens that I was going to kindergarten for a week and then sitting home for a month. Sometimes the studying in kindergarten was an issue. So first of all, we had swimming classes, and I didn't study to swim because of that. Basically, I was attending to the classes maybe like a couple of times during the whole 3 years, and well, basically it happened with English, but if swimming was just fun, yeah, okay, we'll just walk in the water, whatever. But with English, I like, clearly remember the moment when I was sitting in the classroom and all kids was trying to speak like chocolate, crocodile, monkey, rabbit, and all that stuff, and I was sitting like, what the hell is going on? Can someone explain me what's happened? Because I'm lost. Since then, and for like next like 10 or something years, I was hating the language, I was hating the classes, I thought I have no talent for languages at all. Well, now I'm learning 3 foreign languages. I think it's fun. It's weird how the stuff change just because of your attitude and how good experience you have with that activity. Question number 13. Can you select your number 1 favorite language, or you like all of them? It's weird, I can't say that like one language is better than another, but in terms of my studying experience, I liked studying French way more than I was studying English, but probably it's because of my not great childhood experience, I guess. So I don't think I can pick one favorite foreign language. Last question, number 14. Could you possibly start to learn an unpopular or rarely used language just because you liked it or not? I think when I will have time to dabble, but like more seriously dabble in the language, I would like to try and learn some languages from North America, like maybe Cherokee or something like that, because I found it fascinating. I think that just studying grammar, studying vocabulary, and how do you use that vocabulary, it's interesting because it's different in different languages, and just thinking how that words appear and how its like use cases appear for the different phrases and stuff, and analyzing that was really, really interesting. I feel like I'm not a person who really into studying cultures, so when you study language, you also study culture, so the history of the countries and writers, musicians, films. I'm not like that, and I still can't decide is it good or bad. But for some people it's a huge motivator in language, for some people it's not. But if you really like that cultural side of language learning, even learning a small language could be really interesting for you, because it's the speakers also have their own culture, and it would be cool to study it. Oof, it was a long video. So basically that's it. I don't want to specifically tag some people here in the video, because obviously we all are busy and we all have other stuff to do, but if you're watching this and you wanna do this tag, it would be highly appreciated. And also maybe I will tag some people on Twitter, but it's not a mandatory stuff. And yeah, if a couple of people do the tag, I will definitely make a playlist for it. But for now, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.